Hey, what's going on, fellas?
It's the
How
holiday season.
it is the holiday season. Remember, we were just talking about that. Yeah, you know what? Every year the holiday season goes by, the more I don't know. I try not to be a Grinch, but man, sheesh.
Sounds like you need some eggnog.
Yeah. However, I did find some memes, and some of these are related to Christmas season. Some are just not. Some are related to IT. I just thought I wanted to share some of these. This will be fun to start with because why not share screen? And where is it? Is it this one? Is it this one? Is this one? Oh shoot. Uh, wait. Where is it? Chrome tab. Is it this one? Oh, I don't see it. Chrome tab. Oh, right. I see. Looking here. Hold on. Technical difficulties. Let's see here. It's not this one. Nope. It's not this one. It's not that one. It's not that one. It's not that one. Nope. Huh. Nope. There's a lot of things in here, but
But buried in all the tabs.
yeah, do you just open tabs and then, oh, I'll just do this. Just do the entire screen. Screen two. There we go. Let's do it that way. There we go.
This sounds like like the start of a great new tradition.
Yes. What do you think?
That's awesome.
We're-
Red shoes, Twinkies, and a Beretta 92 for John McClane because it is a Christmas movie.
It is so cool.
Yippee ki
Well, our best to Mr. Willis. I hear
Yeah.
he's going through some stuff. So, I don't think he'll be acting anymore. To be honest with you.
No,
it's like it. Oh no, it's like it puts a spin on because like I know for years he just been doing a lot of direct to video stuff to the point where it's kind of like why are you doing this, man? And then when it comes out that that aphasia diagnosis that basically meant that he was gonna have to like walk away from acting, you're kind of like, oh, okay, so he's just like doing all these roles so he can just have enough money to so he and his family can just retire peacefully on. So that makes sense.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay, let's move on to the next one. I don't have tons of these, but okay, too soon. All right.
Well, considering like some of the tone of some of the remembrances I've seen about him, I don't think it's like that too soon or too mean, really.
Yeah. I saw this one. I just about spit my milk out my nose, man. I was like, "Oh, you're kidding me." Well, he was 100, so okay. Let's face it. Like, I couldn't even tell you what the first thing he did or who he worked with. I just know he's a name anyway. So yeah, there's that. One day he'll grab us all. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's a nerdy geeky one, but I liked it. It was cool.
Yeah, I mean, you think about this for the rest of the night.
I'm gonna send this one to my colleagues. Well, I don't have. I could send them old ones anyway. Yeah, kids, just don't. Just don't.
Yeah, be careful.
Be careful. All right. It's that simple. Don't do stupid shit because you're cold. Okay. Do it right. Do the right thing. That's the recipe for disaster. Okay. Next.
Is that the? I thought that was what was that? The Golden Compass. I thought that was the bear from the Golden.
Man, so they're really cutting back for the next season. It seems.
Yeah.
I just do like finally some good news because we need good news anyway.
It's a polar bear who makes his own helmet. It's like you could use a little bit more of that in the world.
Yeah, you gotta prepare. You gotta prepare for brawls, dude.
That's right. He's got armor.
Mhm.
All right. He's got armor. He's like,
So,
"I'm ready."
but do you think the attendants are like looking at this and going, "Okay, now do you want to be the one who takes it away from him? Because I'm not doing it."
That's right. He's like, yeah, watch this snapping beast. That used to be a bucket that was whole at one point. I do like it though. I like this. If there's a icon I could use for my new job to represent me, I probably use this one right here. Probably trim this one or this one right here.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on.
John, like who?
Mhm.
Polar bear bucket.
Mhm.
That's funny, and I got a person at work who would probably kill you for suggesting this meme.
I get it. And you know what? I love Mariah Carey. But when I saw it, I was like, you know what? I get it. I know what you're saying.
I still don't tire for this song.
You know what? Okay. I haven't listened to this song yet, even walking through the stores. And I just look at this and the song plays in my freaking head. Okay. That's what happens. So, yes, Mariah Carey. Thank you, Mariah.
Well, Spider-Man, it's like if you want to take a nap, I think you're entitled to do it for as long as you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who knows? It's just I like it. I don't
know. He's earned it. Peter works hard.
That's right. That's right. He's allowed. So,
and I like to play that game too.
Yep. No, this is not real. I mean, no, I don't get these, but I was like, that's kind of messed up. Pokemon Go.
That's funny.
Pikachu, why?
I know. Why not step outside for a bit? What is this control anyway?
Is it population control?
Nah. Really now?
Yeah.
Come on. Thanks. Oh, something ironic about that. Anyway.
Yeah. Mushrooms.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, substitute.
Yeah, you know what the worst part is?
Huh.
This is probably someone's fetish.
Yeah, right. I know. Yeah, like, in that direction. I mean, I noticed it's the same price, but seriously? Like,
yeah, what kind of algorithm?
Right. Your AI is suggesting it. Actually, ChatGPT might do a better job instead of like the Walmart engine.
unless there's more ways to use mushrooms than just cooking that I wasn't aware of. I don't know.
Substitution. So true. A few more here.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
You know what? This is like, when I read this, it took me a minute to go, okay, wait a second. Oh, yeah, I see now. Because I have to do this shit once in a while. And I'm like, it starts you at current year. Like anybody that's on the site like is 2 years old or something. And then you just have to like scroll back until you find your year, right?
Yeah.
And it becomes more of a PETA the older you get. So, yeah.
It's at least 3 or 4 pages for me now.
It sucks. It sucks. It just straight out sucks.
Yeah.
Aww.
Well, I don't know. I kind of remember it, but I don't know if you even like. I know you guys are a little younger than me, but did you ever like? I don't know. It's a weird thing, like that whole Cold War, like World War III stuff. This is weird, man.
Not really. Like I do remember like drills for like more earthquakes and stuff like that. But I do remember in elementary school kind of being fearful of nuclear annihilation or the possibility of like, nuclear explosion in America.
Oh, yeah, they had like movies. Like ABC had a TV movie, and then like the
Yeah, the day
BBC
after.
had one called
Mhm.
Threads. Like these are terrifying fucking movies, man. Like
Mhm.
they are. It's like yes, and and we're this close to like completely wiping. Like it was a thing, and you know, yeah,
Yeah,
weird.
because I remember being scared of that, and of course the big one. And then when we moved to Okinawa, I was like, "Phew, I'm safe." I was ignorant to it, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a scary thought, when you're young.
Yeah,
But at least it's like everyone's they're trying to like be. It's like like trying to find a silver lining to it here, which is aw.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
support. Yeah, this is more for me because I actually have these to keep the dogs like from going upstairs and crap, and I commonly just step over it.
It's like I see this picture. And I look at the udders. And I think, my God, that is just gonna be painful for the cow. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
showing yet, but geez, man.
Yeah, well, I did think that too. I was like, that can't be like the most pleasant position to be in, but I've seen animals do some really weird and stupid stuff. Like, it's like, are you sure you want to do that? Okay. All right. So, it's a thing. Okay. So maybe this is of course.
I think there's like so many other like like bits of nerddom and fandom that you could swap this in for. You could swap out Doctor Who, and it'd be the exact same joke.
Yep. I think you're right. And Doctor Who is like one of the especially when you're talking about like the old Doctor Who, which I have seen. There's if you've only seen the new one, there's nothing wrong with that. But like if you start talking about like the old shit, it just becomes like there's a lot of history there. There's so much history there that the BBC doesn't even remember at all. So some of their collection is actually gone. Some of them were recorded on videotapes, were destroyed in fires, and so they but they had some audio recordings of some of the older seasons, and so they wound up putting them to like black and white like animation. It's really bizarre.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because like I guess in the 60s, that's people would sit there. They didn't have VCRs.
They didn't know people would still want to watch Doctor Who in the year of our Lord, 2023.
Exactly. But yeah, so Doctor Who can be even more complicated. I'm glad that at least the modern Who tries not to make it too complicated, but throws in the Easter eggs, for people that are like
OG fans.
Yeah, OG fans. I think that's a cool thing. So, yep,
that's dope.
Yeah. And by the way, I remember the first Doctor I actually watched was the one before this one, and then this one. So those are the two I remember as a wee lad. Anyway. I thought Jason
one. You know which one I'm laughing at because it's like years have made. I mean, you've seen that shirt I wear.
Yeah. It was funny because where I picked this one up, like someone posted under it is like, huh? Okay. And and then the person's like, well, why is so and so in there? It's like, that's the reason why this meme exists.
I imagine that you could just swap out any of the other 8 girls in this, but you have to keep that one in the middle right.
That's right.
Or else it won't work.
Exactly. Oh man. That I don't know. That one just continues to like pay out. I don't know why, but it does. Let's see.
It's
here.
because it was so messed up when we first saw it that laughing at it now is how we cope with it.
Yes, it's like a nervous laughter.
But what anime is that? Like the girl in the middle on the far right.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Yes.
Oh, I never finished that. Okay, I'll get there.
Oh, but this is like near the very beginning, though.
Yeah, okay, let me rephrase that. I never watched it. I'll get
Okay.
Okay.
It's no problem because anyone who saw it was probably just scarred for life. It's okay.
there.
You're in for a surprise, sir.
And that's all I'm going to say about that, as Forrest Gump would say. But it does crop its head up. And some people even
That's
buy
all I
shirts.
got to say about that.
I like this one. It just looked cool.
So are those different cats, or is that because like it looks like the third one from the top looks different though?
I think they are different cats.
Okay.
I don't know, but the third one doesn't. The third one on the right is obviously not the same cat, but the other three could practically be. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
They both have they have that thing, the fang thing going on there. So, and then the stripes are right.
The top two Godzilla photos look shitty.
Yeah,
like very puppet.
Reminds me, I have to go and see Godzilla minus was it
Zero.
minus zero?
Minus one.
Minus one, right? Minus one. I got to see that thing.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, Myron, but it kind of feels, I don't know, it's like rude to like knock Godzilla for being too puppety.
Yeah, no, it's all part of the charm of it. I totally get that, but yeah, I've never been too big in like the old school Godzillas.
Yeah. Well, that I was more contaminated by Mr. Jess Delgado. He is a hardcore Godzilla fan.
If you still go into his office, he's got some figs, and I always talk to him about like, hey, you get any new figures, dude? And you know, he talks about like the SH Figure Arts ones, which are badass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are, yep, good times, man. We used to talk Godzilla a lot. So cool. Even the cheesy ass stuff.
But nothing is crappier than the Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
Oh man, I mean, it was about the same time too. So I mean, I could say like, yeah, those Hanna-Barbera cartoons in that same time period, just like the Godzillas of that same time period, it sucked.
Yep,
Anyway.
different era.
I don't know. This one I was going to give to one of my coder friends, coding peoples. So they might like this one. Yep. I'm going to move on from this one because it's okay. Let's see here.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The look of shock in his face.
It's the sign of the season. You know how they got that look though?
How so?
Apparently, like when the stunt people were gonna let him go, like they told him, "Okay, we're gonna drop you on 3," and when they dropped him on 2.
Oh, they got the shock value out of him.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Tricks on you. That's a $1 million shot right there.
Shut up, Alan. It worked, didn't it?
Let's see here.
Oh, Stu Pickles. Oh, damn, really?
That's exactly when you read it, you're like, huh? Really? Is that
I don't know. It seems plausible to me.
Yeah.
That was back in the day when you can own a home being a freelance toy maker.
Yeah. It wasn't about the parents, but man, it's a perspective thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, let's see here. Yes, this one got a good chuckle out of me too.
It's funny because it's true.
It's great. It is great.
Mm-hmm. Uh,
Sushi.
yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm like, hey, what place makes sushi? It looks like sneakers. That's cool.
Mhm.
Dude, I'd go for this.
Yeah, exactly.
That's some real artistry right there.
Yep. Oh, let's see here.
Brother, yeah.
uh, that's something that, you know, it's gonna be. What was that? Oh yeah, like you're gonna be like the officer from Demolition Man, the one that Sandra Bullock played. Eventually, it's gonna be like where where people just get things like this wrong in the future because they're fans of the 80s and and icons in the 80s, and I don't know.
What do you mean get it wrong? Like where they were like yeah, because Lieutenant Huxley was like a 80s 90s fan, and she had all this like retro stuff in her apartment.
Yep, but she was always getting like the phrases wrong and everything else,
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Like oh dude, what and Stallone would always have to correct her, and I'm trying to think of examples, but he's like, he's like,
You can like take this job and shovel it.
yeah, you can take this job and shove it. No,
Yep.
Huxley, is you could take this job and shove it. Oh, okay.
But yeah, Macho Man, Randy Savage. Anyway, and Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan, he had his own TV show. Okay,
Mhm.
and I'm not talking about the like any
about
WWF stuff back then.
Talking about Hogan knows best.
Hogan knows best. Yes.
Yeah, it ruined his family and ruined his life.
Okay, moving on. Let's see here. I think I got a few more here.
Life is like a box of chocolates. Life is like a hurricane.
Again, I can't think of any. This one was really cool. This was like, okay, yeah, that's neat.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that's cool. Maybe funny. Maybe, buddy. Oh, this one's more for the defenders out there. So yeah,
yeah, it's like RDP was just what?
This one too. This is another one. It's just like for those people who are making rules and stuff for detections
and how us casuals just think like, oh yeah, like IT guys don't need to dress up.
Yeah, that's right. They just like that.
Yeah.
Bonus points. Name them.
Street
Sharks, Ninja Turtles, Gargoyles, and Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon, yeah.
Yep. Floppy disks had saved, destroy the world. It's like,
you got 5 seconds. Like, pop in that 3 millimeter.
Yep. 3.5 inch drive diskette, and yeah, yeah. I actually have a disk drive that's USB. And
still,
you know what is funny is that I had to purchase it because I found a disc full of fonts that I purchased like a million years ago, and I wanted to pull the fonts off of it. So I plugged it in, pulled the fonts off, and imported them successfully into my library. So, and I was like, oh, cool. And then I was like, now I just have a drive that I do absolutely nothing with. So yeah, but fonts don't take that much space. And I was like, okay, I don't think I can get these fonts anywhere else. It's kind of weird. Fonts are a weird thing. Anyway.
It's like you got premium fonts. You can just sell them on the dark web for who knows how much now.
Yeah. So I will tell you, you know what kind of fonts they were? They were official Star Trek fonts.
Oh man, it's like that's the gold mine right there.
Yeah. And I was scared that I couldn't even pull them off of the floppy disk. But I did, and I imported them, and now I'm happily using them wherever. It even has Klingon.
I I want like, do they have like what do Star Wars wingdings look like?
Doesn't have Star Wars on it because it's
I mean,
Paramount.
Star Trek. God
Star
damn
Trek.
it!
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Star Trek Wingdings. Yeah, it basically that's what it is, right? So yeah, you were right. Spot on. Floppy disks. Yeah, that's why I named this one.
Ah.
Mm.
Oh.
Is that why you put it in the title?
Yeah.
Well played, sir.
Uh-huh.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, pretty cool. And it is. It's one of those things. It's cool. I was like, I need. Do I have any more beyond this? Let's see here. Oh yeah. Oh, this one came from earlier, so because people like to celebrate Christmas in November and stuff, or whatever.
Yeah.
I guess when you walk into a store and in November it's not even Thanksgiving yet, and there's Christmas shit everywhere.
Yeah. Guys, hold the line for the rest of us.
Yeah, I put my tree up like November 3rd.
Yeah, I don't care, frankly. It doesn't bother me. You want to put up your Christmas decorations in freaking September? I'm like, all right, whatever. You want to leave them up all year? Okay, be that way.
No, I feel the respectable time is after Halloween. You can go ahead and put them up,
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
and then take them down sometime before February.
Yeah. Okay, what do we got here? Oh, I think this is the last one.
I see what you did there.
Password is too strong.
That's funny.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
You have to put like the C and the N in lowercase, then it'll be just fine.
I think it'll be still too strong.
That's right. I think that pretty much ended that. Yeah, let me see here. Yeah, it was boring after that. There was nothing else. So just stuff I was taking picture at the store and stuff. Anyway, yeah, fun stuff. Memes are always fun to go over and stuff. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, they're good to brighten up somebody's day for a good chuckle,
Yeah. And they never get old or become obsolete. Ever.
No, they're up there forever.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, we're closing on like 20 years of Badger, so.
Yeah, that's true. And I remember, shoot, that is an old one.
It's going through your head now, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. But the funny thing is that I actually posted that to somebody's timeline for Facebook like about 2 months ago, because it was a thing that we used to pass around. Like when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, here, this is something to make you feel old, girl. There you go. So it's almost as old as the all your base are belong to us meme. That thing or that whatever that was. I guess it's a meme.
No, it totally is. Just because just the way in which it got passed around the internet. It's like it's kind of like part of the internet itself at this point. Like it's like some kind of secret handshake, I would imagine.
Yeah. It's like, do you know the secret code for the internet? Yeah. Oh, where's the other one here? I have something else that so what else has been going on? Nobody's seen any new movies. Is there anything in theaters worth watching right now?
Godzilla -1. I mean, I'm not saying because I've seen it, but basically, like reviews for this have been out of this world, saying it's probably one of the best modern Godzilla movies.
Wow, well, that's saying something. Yeah, I probably do want to check that out. So,
yeah. But if you miss this one, well, Godzilla will be back in theaters next year because we got the sequel to Godzilla versus Kong.
Okay, so from the
cool.
Basically the U.S. side of the productions.
Yeah, from Legendary.
Yeah.
It's like and I'm fine with them making a sequel to Godzilla versus Kong because that was like the first one of the monster movie, like one of their like MonsterVerse movies where I just thought, oh man, it's like you finally decided to just have the monsters like fight for most of the movie and don't bother with like the boring humans.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I mean. it's like, I mean, yeah, it's like the humans are boring in all these movies because they just gave them like the same like boring ass monster movie shit to do every single time. And I was fine with the fact that they just gave up because the fighting here was pretty cool, and like the way they brought in Mecha Godzilla, that was badass. But I am kind of wondering, like, where do you go after you've had Godzilla and Kong fight once and then walk away from each other respectfully? So
You have them team up, like Lou Gossett Jr. and Chuck Norris. Yeah,
what movie was that?
wasn't that Oh crap! I was thinking of Iron Eagle. Was Chuck Norris in that movie?
No, he wasn't.
Who was in that movie?
I can only remember Lou Gossett Jr.
That's all I remember too. Well, anyway, whoever his buddy was in that movie, that's what we're getting to in this follow up to Godzilla versus Kong, or Godzilla versus Kong.
Or maybe this is like more like a Rocky and Apollo Creed.
Even better, even better analogy. Yep. So I'm excited because I forgot. I know they showed like a teaser trailer. I'm not sure if they had a full trailer, but weren't they going up like against another like Titan ape like creature?
And if they have a trailer for this out, I haven't seen it yet. But how is that? I kind of thinking like what other familiar like character from their Rogues Gallery would that be? Because they've got. I mean, Godzilla alone has like any number of other kaiju you could pit them against, but Kong really only has those spiders from the island.
Yeah. Or unless they're kind of maybe going totally original ever since introducing us to that underground that world that Titan world in the crater of the center of the earth, like could be something original. I'm not sure, but either way, like you said, I'm just excited that they're kind of continuing this MonsterVerse with more monster fights. And as a matter of fact, I haven't watched it yet because I'm kind of waiting for it to finish. But that Monarch show on Apple TV Plus, like I kind of want to check that out and see what that's all about. Maybe it'll add as a good appetizer before this movie comes out.
Yeah. I've heard some good things about it, but I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to get off my ass these days to watch anything that isn't like my weekly dose of anime. But
yeah,
that's just me.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. But as far as what you said, John, as far as movies go, I mean, aside from Godzilla coming out, like you said, Jason, I can't think of anything. The only movie that I was hyped about in December was Dune, Dune 2, but they pushed that back to like spring, I believe. And then I think Aquaman is still on track, but I'm still kind of iffy about that one. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be a theater going experience for me there. And there was something else coming out December.
It just kind of reminds me of a couple of things right there. So it was like, do you guys think that like the comic book movie's dead? Is it dead?
No.
Like, well, because you know what? Like, this has been a bad year for Disney Marvel or Marvel Disney.
Yes.
So yeah, and that may have an effect on their bottom line, but maybe people don't want to see the movies with the comic book people in anymore. I don't know.
No, that they don't want to see bad ones or ones that like just kind of like they're just like kind of like mediocre or don't tie into like the overall stories. I mean, like everyone seems to forget that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 came out, and not only did it do, I mean, no, it didn't outgross part 2, but it did really well relative to its opening numbers.
Right.
Like, and it was a good solid wrap up to the story, to this like trilogy of films within the MCU. I mean, like shows that James Gunn still has it, the cast still has it. I mean, for God's sake, my mom actually went to see this with me, and we all like my mom and dad went to see it, but my mom is like the one who's just like not a comic book movie person at all, but she likes the Guardians movies, and she liked this one too. So I mean, that's That's kind of like my yardstick right here.
Yeah.
And
Well,
and I-
I think it's good, and I think you're correct on your assumption. I think that
Yeah,
the
I mean, it's like-
movies have to be. We just need better. Like, no one has a reason to watch them. If it's too convoluted, they just want to go and and watch. I don't know, something fun.
Yeah.
Something that's.
I also want to go. I also want to go to bat for Loki season 2 as well. That was good. Everything after that is, if I'm being charitable, mixed to bad.
Well, see, the real question is, was there an actual roadmap for post Endgame, or was it just slapped together? Like, here's what's coming out in the next couple years, and we're gonna have a new Avengers movie. The Kang Dynasty.
I would say if I could write an essay on this, I could probably just title it "A Comedy of Errors." And I would say that there's some very bad missteps that have been taken, and I can't articulate every single one of them. However, a few I can are it's a little bit like it's kind of presumptuous to assume your audience is going to be invested in it,
Mm-hmm.
in a new set of characters, no matter how good they might be, just because you put them out there.
Right.
Now that being said, like James Gunn did it with Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, he did it. That's fine.
Mhm.
He was able to market it using some really interesting things, music, like just the whole nostalgia thing. Like he sold those characters based on like how he had them written, and that's a really good thing to do. And that's why it performed strong. But you didn't have to watch a few series, and then you were hinted at like the overall arch villain Thanos, right? The whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Kang is not really like. There's some questions on whether that's even going to be carried forward. I think I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you have like a million Kangs, like what's the threat? And then so we got some issues with the villain itself,
Right.
which some people might argue Marvel, the MCU has a villain problem. Well, they've had good villains. That's not the problem. Problem is, I don't know about this. You're not selling me on it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think they have like maybe a villain cohesion problem in the sense of like, like you said, like the build up to Thanos in the original, like Avengers, films and storylines, like, that was, to me, that was masterful. I mean, it's hard to kind of catch lightning in the bottle twice, just because, I don't necessarily think they had that entire roadmap like laid out in the way we're kind of expecting it to be laid out in this day and age. And what I mean by that is that, they made the Iron Man movie, and then they made, a Thor movie, then they made, Captain America movie. I mean, they made these standalone hero movies that ultimately connected and led to something bigger. And because of how big the franchise and the films got, now the expectation is like, what's it connecting to? What's the overall big picture here? Like, oh, am I gonna get it if I didn't watch the Disney Plus shows? Like, everything is like almost too connected for its own good, to where like, yeah, one mishap or one slip up, it's kind of jacking up your whole story, your whole, overall big plan. And so, at least for me, like when I think of Kang, I mostly think of the Fantastic Four. And without the Fantastic Four being introduced already, it's like I personally am kind of questioning how this whole Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars is going to play out. And then, of course, the whole thing with Jonathan Majors, that whole situation, like, I read somewhere like, yeah, they're thinking about switching up to Doctor Doom. And it's like, well, how does that make sense? You're just going to pull Doctor Doom out of your ass, like, when we've had no hint or, introduction to him in the first place. So I don't know. Like, things seem to be
I don't know if it's the multiverse storyline kind of being sloppily done, or just kind of like throwing gum at the wall and seeing what sticks. I felt like there really wasn't a plan with this phase that we kind of came off of currently.
I think you're right, and especially I think the fact that they scaled up production to now we got TV series on Disney Plus to follow along with as well.
Yeah,
and that just kind of on one hand, it's like I have no problem just tuning in for an hour a week, to keep track of all this stuff. I didn't feel that it was that big of a commitment on my end, but that's just me, and I don't watch a whole lot of TV otherwise. I can just slot this stuff in, with between video games. But yeah, it's I think it just got kind of too big at this point, and that's kind of what I think kind of doomed the Marvels as well, because while I enjoyed it, I can also see this is a movie that's basically serving 5 different masters here. It's not only is it a follow up to Captain Marvel film, but it's also following up on the Miss Marvel series on Disney Plus, WandaVision, and if you want to be generous, Secret Invasion as well, which I can't really blame you for not wanting to follow on that, but yeah, this is a film that had acknowledge all the stuff that happened in between those movies, and I think that kind of doomed it a bit for how can you tell a good solid story about your title character when you're dealing with all this have to deal with all this other stuff at the same time as well.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head with the key word, scale. The scale is way too massive to where the original Avengers, set of films and standalone hero movies, they were Earth's mightiest heroes. And yeah, maybe every now and then they might go to space or whatever. Now we're dealing with the universes or multiverses mightiest heroes. And now you're talking about not only scale and universes, timelines, and everything like that, but scales on how you consume this media, whether it's films, movies. From what I understand, this X-Men 97 cartoon series is supposed to be tied into the MCU somehow. Is that how we're going to get introduced? I don't know. But, yeah, not everybody tunes into the shows. Honestly, yeah, I did watch. I mean, I need to catch up on some, but I did watch WandaVision, Hawkeye, all the main ones. I didn't watch Secret Wars. I haven't watched
Secret Invasion.
Sorry. Yeah, I haven't watched Secret Invasion, and I kind of don't really care to. I haven't watched Loki season 2 yet because I was waiting for it to finish, and then I'll power marathon it. I think that's about it. And I know Echo is about to come out, but that's kind of tied in more to the street level Marvel storylines rather than this overall picture. So I mean, yeah, there's just it's a little too much right now to where I'm starting to feel I'm starting to feel like what Martin Scorsese was saying. Yeah.
Well, I would say, why don't you stick to your guns now? There's supposed to be a Deadpool movie. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. And I know that there's some, I don't know, Hugh Jackman's supposed to be in it. Okay, fine. But why don't you and that brings its own set of problems, but I'm not going to talk about that here. Why don't you just go for the obvious? Why invest all this, and trying to promote the other characters? I'm not saying it's not worth it, but why don't you use your X-Men property? Use that. You own it, and you're not doing much with it. Why don't you start using that thing?
Yeah.
They're planning. They're working on it. I think they're just trying to figure out when do we deploy this for maximum effectiveness.
Well,
because,
they're gonna need it.
You guys
do it now.
So you guys didn't hear. You guys didn't hear about the mid-credit scene in the Marvels at all?
No, but you can
not kind of, but not really. I didn't. I figured I'd wait.
Basically, Monica Rambeau winds up in another universe as a result of this, and guess who's there? Dr. Henry McCoy, full-furred beast form.
Are you talking about Frasier?
Fraser
Yep.
McCoy. Yeah, like damn, what's it? Kelsey Grammer's Beast.
Yeah, he's credited as Beast there.
Oh, that's
Uh,
cool.
So
Well-
see, that's the question. Is that the Fox, like the universe she went to? She went to Fox World.
Mhm. Well,
Sound-
here's the thing. He's right. So that would be my question. And there's been some ambiguity, you know, like WandaVision had like Quicksilver in it, right? But it was the Quicksilver from the X-Men, like the new class stuff. And you're like, okay.
Well, it's like it wasn't even that guy. It was just like some dude who
right. But everyone knew the reference.
Yeah.
And you know, we had Patrick Stewart's Professor X, like, you know, so we've got these hints and they're dropping them. And I think that and I'm just gonna say it, I'm not really into this multiverse thing. I will tell you right away. To me, it's like, okay.
I'm getting tired of it.
It's just becoming old hat, and it's not a lot of payout for me right now. So, you know, just stick to your guns, Marvel. Just, you know, whoever, Kevin Feige, stick to your guns. Just, you know, produce a movie, introduce your character, you know, introduce any of your other characters, put out a storyline, do another like Days of Future Past kind of thing, do something like that, you know. Incorporate your characters, incorporate your new IP, and and put that out, you know. Doesn't mean that you can't give others a chance, but you know, at this point, let's see here, what is the Disney stock sitting at? I think it's sitting like at around $80. That's not good. Like, you can go out and buy it, but you know, if your stock's not making money, that's not really a good thing, you know. And I'm pretty sure the people who are enjoying that stock price at a higher level are probably going like, what's going on? Because it's a more solid thing. And by the way, I think that they can bring it back up. I really do. I think I can do it.
I mean, let's face it. Like Marvel, Marvel dipped into the BC tier of heroes, of characters that are well known but not as well known as like X-Men or Spider-Man, and made them popular, like, you know, Iron Man, Thor, like, you know, the Doctor Strange. Now they're digging into the D and F tiers and trying to make movies of them, like, you know, the Eternals and I don't know, like, as harsh as it might sound, you know, I would consider, like, for me, Hawkeye was more of like a D tier hero, like on his own. So it's like, you know, you're starting to dig into like these other characters that aren't really well known, but you know, you can make them popular with, oh, now I'm a, you know, Miss Marvel fan, a Kamala Khan fan, or oh, now I'm a fan of Echo, and make these characters prevalent. But I feel like the execution this time around isn't as strong. And I think it goes to what you said, John. Like, I think, like, for me, the multiverse thing is kind of getting like played out. Like, you know, there was something there. Like, I was high, like, I liked Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, and I had my theories and speculations on where they can go. And I love what they did with Spider-Man No Way Home. But then, like, whatchamacallit, Ant-Man, Quantumania, and anything else that came out after that dealing with that topic, it was just kind of like, oh, dude, like, where's the payoff here? Like, ultimately, like, I kind of foresaw it being a way to lead up to Secret Wars and kind of allow them to reset, like, the MCU, so to speak. Like, and all right, after Secret Wars, the MCU reboots, and we're going to do a new Iron Man film starring, you know, Tom Cruise as, you know, Tony Stark. Like, in this universe, Tony Stark is alive, and that gives them the opportunity to, like, redo another Iron Man movie or redo another Cap or Thor movie, but just with different, you know, actors, kind of thing. Like, you know, I don't know where they're going to go with this, but yeah, it's starting to get a little like worn out for me as far as like superhero movies go. And I know that DC kind of had their stumbles and stuff too, but you know, I kind of gave up on them a while ago. I think as much as I was entertained by Black Adam, it was a shitty movie.
And then, damn, what was the last DC movie that came out?
Like
Blue
Black
Beetle.
Adam's like junk food.
You know what? Blue Beetle was actually entertaining. Like I finally watched that like last weekend, and for me, it was like a feel good like family movie. Like, oh, this is a good movie, but like can't it go anywhere with like as far as a big tie-in goes. Yeah, and Aquaman is like I kind of stopped. I was hyped on it like a while ago, but then after like the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial and how long it kind of dragged out, I'm like, oh, dude, I don't know if I care about this movie anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like this is one of the rare instances I've heard that apparently it's like it hasn't really tested well. So apparently there's been like a lot of like behind the scenes work on it too. Maybe it's like they've got it like in ship shape. But we'll see. I mean, like I would love nothing more for them to come out. Kind of the reviews would be like, hey, this is like a better movie than the first film. That would be great.
I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean, hope springs eternal, but like considering the year this has been,
Yeah.
But it's also worth noting that we're 2024 is going to be mostly superhero free because Marvel's delayed all of its major films to 2025, which if this works out and we get better films because of it, then hey, good for them. It's like I'm all for that.
Yeah, I hope so.
And also like, but we do have Deadpool 3 to look forward to, which hey, it's like after the first two, it's like I'm hoping that then they're able to go 3 for 3 on this.
Yep. And you can watch and you can hear him, poke fun at the MCU again.
Yeah.
But no, people talk about like, well, maybe I'm speculating, but I think that people talk about like, well, it's brand damage, and I'm like, well, no, not necessarily. I just think that you just need to put forward the characters, put forward the stories that people want to see,
Yeah.
Just don't overthink it. Like, we got this new idea. No. Everyone has a new idea. Just grab the old idea and throw it in front, get people back in the theater. Okay. That's all you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And let the story play out. That's how Iron Man worked, and all, it's just, it was a good formula. So, people got on board. You need to bring them back on board. So, give them what they want to see.
Yeah.
It sounds like basic marketing, but it's true. Like Spider-Man isn't necessarily bad, is it? I mean, that's not been worn out. That's still going strong, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, on one hand, the Spider-Man movies themselves, I think we're all about that. But Sony attempts to spin it off. Anything that isn't named Venom seems to be, for lack of a better term, radioactive.
Yeah. So Spider-Man and like spider related storylines, I personally feel are kind of like on a thin line of being burnt out, in the sense of like, okay, don't get me wrong, love the new Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland and all that. If they're gonna do one more with Tom Holland, it's got to be a pass the torch to a live action Miles Morales to kind of refreshen it. You know what I mean? Like Tom Holland has expressed like, that he's kind of done or kind of over doing Spider-Man as well. I mean, he might come back, but if you're going to continue doing Spider-Man, we don't want to see another Peter Parker. I think fans love and have clamored towards Miles, not only from the Spider-Verse movies and games, but would like to see a live action. And if you're doing this whole multiverse thing, that would be a perfect way to bring Miles in from the Across the Spider-Verse series into live action form. That's how I foresee it if they're going to continue this multiverse crap. But with the Spider spinoffs that they're doing, like a Craven movie, they did a Morbius movie. This Madam Web movie looks like shit.
It does.
Like, I'm like, why?
Yep.
I was like, why? And then Craven, I probably still watch it like once it came out on streaming, but I don't think I'd go to the theater to see it. And I'm like, what's the end game here? Like, are you guys trying to? Because I remember a long time ago during Andrew Garfield's run of Spider-Man, they had an idea to do like individual movies of these villains to
build into like some type of Sinister Six plan. Is that still the plan here? Because I mean,
It sure seems like that's what they're trying to do.
yeah, that it seems like that's what they're trying to do, but then it's like, well, how's that going to work out then? Like, is that going to be like a Sony movie and Sony gets Spider-Man back, or is that going to be an MCU thing? I don't know. And then as far as like Sinister Six goes, it's like, yeah, I guess you got Michael Keaton as the Vulture, and then you have that dude as Scorpion, in jail with him. I guess they can pull it off, but I don't know. Like, I just don't really see the point of these standalone villain movies, posing them as like anti-heroes. And then I guess they're supposed to do a Black Cat movie, which, personally, like I would go see. I love Felicia Hardy and the Black Cat character, but still, I'm kind of like, why? Why does she need a standalone movie? Why does Silver Sable need a standalone movie? Like, I feel like it's just no thought or reason. It's just that comic book cash grab that Jay and Silent Bob were talking about, and Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back. you know what I mean? Like a Blunt Man and Chronic movie.
and if the story is going to be, well, bad guy does something, good guys do something, bad guys have an end battle with good guys, that formula can get old.
Yeah.
Really?
Change that. Well, hey, that just described the Transformers movies. And you know what? It's true. It's like, okay, maybe there is something to it. Maybe there is. Does everything have to be like that? Maybe there's maybe a Marvel movie doesn't have to be so action focused. Maybe it can be more story focused. I don't know. I'm just saying things. I don't know.
Give us a movie where like the Avengers just hanging out in Avengers Tower, just with nothing to do for that day.
Yeah, I know. They're just drinking their freaking cappuccinos or whatever, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
But character building seems to be, and world building. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe they should focus on that.
Yeah, spend an episode of them helping Hulk get ready for a date.
And what was going through my head when you guys were talking about do you remember this television show called Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I stopped watching it, apparently just before it actually started to get good. So there you go.
Yeah, because I remember when it first came out, I kind of hated on it and I stopped watching it. And then I gave it another chance.
And why did you hate it?
I don't know. I think I just couldn't get into it. I thought it was boring. It's like, aside from like one of the main actresses, what's her name? Chloe Bennett.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I don't care about, Coulson resurrected from the dead and, solving crimes on the side. But after a couple seasons went in and I kind of heard of like, where they were going with it, I kind of went back and gave it a chance. And after sitting down and watching the first full season, I was like, okay, I grossly, misjudged it. It's actually pretty good. And I like, how they went off there and kind of what you guys were talking about. Like they actually had the time for character development and building this world. And I think I kind of remember a little bit why I was hating on it is because that was the time when they were trying to shove Inhumans down our throats to forget about the X-Men. So
Yeah.
Oh, those bad old days.
Yeah, because like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. really got heavy in the Inhumans part, which, I eventually liked. But at that time when Inhumans were being tossed around everywhere, I started hating on it because it's like, dude, you guys are just trying to like devaluize the X-Men because you can't, do anything with it. Bring back X-Men, especially in comic book form. Like before we got the Krakoa storyline and everything, like X-Men kind of seemed like it was being, held down by Mickey Mouse's thumb.
So, but Agents of Shield ended up being really good and giving us some good background storylines to like the Kree and a bunch of other characters and things like that. However, I don't think I watched the final season because I was kind of like, I don't want this to end kind of thing. So eventually I need to go back and go through and watch it. But it ended up being a pretty good, product. And I felt like the stuff that we get on Disney Plus, a lot of it's not at that same caliber as like their ABC show.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
How does that compare to some of the stuff that we're seeing, on Disney Plus, right? So, just a thought.
Yeah, I mean, granted, I did enjoy Hawkeye and a couple, I'm kind of iffy on WandaVision. Falcon and Winter Soldier at the end, I was like, I kind of liked it, but then after rewatching it, I'm like, whatever. It goes back to I feel like the Agents of Shield, even though it tied into the main MCU, it didn't really focus on that. You know what I mean? Like it focused on its own stories, and yeah, they might have had some references and tie-ins to something else, but then the shows on Disney Plus, they're supposed to be tied in directly to the MCU, so it's forced you'll see an episode of something like, oh, there was an explosion, New York, and that was a section that happened in an Avengers movie or something. Like it really forces that point to let you know like this is all part of the same big picture you should be watching.
Yep.
So, but I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just, it gets intimidated for viewers. Like, should I watch this before watching this? Like, not really, not unless you want to.
Would you watch it, Jason? Nowadays?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, I think like Secret Invasion has basically been the one thing where it's like, I thought, like, this is kind of, it's like, this is just kind of like getting close to actually bad here. It's like, I can't say I've like watched something in like any superhero movie in recent memory and gone, man, I fucking hated this. But I can't say that. Yeah, it's going to take a lot of just substandard stuff to wear me down. Like, and it's like, and I haven't gotten to that point yet. I mean, yeah, it's disappointing that like Marvel's not consistently hitting home runs. It's like it's like with each thing they put out, but I'm still on board for for what they're doing. And it sounds like everything I've heard from them recently says that, yeah, we know we screwed up and we are making like efforts to try and change things. So I'm invested enough to want to give them the benefit of the doubt here and just see if that, hey, have you learned? It's like, is everything going to be better? I mean, just like, taking most of 2024 off sounds like a start. So like, hey, I guess come back in 2025 so we can have this conversation again.
Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Take a break. By the way, which I think is a good strategy. I think that's an excellent strategy, but don't just come back with the same stuff, give write good stories. Which I don't know how much the writer's strike have to do with, us getting good stories anytime soon, but maybe
I think that all the writers in the actor strike did was just like, that's why we're not getting anything next year, really.
Yeah.
That's the main reason more than anything else. So I'm sure that in retrospect, like Marvel's probably thinking, this is probably a good thing that they're gonna have time to rework all this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So yes, and with that, I think that there is probably I think we can pretty much end this, but there will be one more thing that I'll be talking with you gents with offline. So, hey, thanks a lot. This has been a good discussion. Hopefully, stay tuned for the next time. We'll have more. Talk to you later.
Happy holidays.
Yes, and happy holidays.
Yep.